So E.J. Tackett gets another shot at it, and we eavesdropped on an interesting comment that Tackett
All right,
made
well,
about the start
we
of
got the start of the 2016 World Championships here. I elected to have Tom Smallwood start this match. The approach on the right lane we had problems with in practice. It was a little bit slick, and I decided that I didn't want to finish on that lane no matter what. So I had Smallwood start the match, and I started on the right lane so that way I could finish on the left lane. I had the better approach. Small started here with a spare. You know, it's starting a title match and let alone a major. It's never easy. You got to get your legs underneath you, and I think that's a little bit what happened here on this first shot coming up, and just a little bit of nerves. And you're thinking about, in my situation, thinking about the year before, you know, finishing second, leading your same position. You know, this shot here, it got away from me a little bit. It was in my head, that right lane approach, and I needed a shot to get underneath me, get my legs underneath me there. I was able to make this spare. And you can see it again. It was just, that was all just in my head that the approach was bad. You know, it had nothing to do with anything else than just me in that situation there. Luckily, I was able to get up and be able to make the spare here. Not a tough spare, but bowling for a major championship definitely will rack your nerves and make even the easiest spares hard. So during practice, I'd thrown a few different bowling balls. Brett Spangler and I decided on this one. It gave me the best look. I was able to just get a little bit slower with my feet, and that had something partly to do with the approach on the right lane. But you know, this ball it created a really nice shape, read the middle of the lane well. Didn't try to do too much down lane, as you can see there. That shot there was pretty good. You know, I was still getting my feet underneath me there. And you see Don Barrett here. You know, he won this tournament before, made a really good run in this tournament in 2016. Kind of ran into a buzzsaw with Smallwood, and I believe Smallwood bowled 265 or 266 in the match leading up, and you know, I had to sit back and watch Smalls shoot that big game, and it almost makes you worry a little bit coming into that title match. Just somebody that like Tom Smallwood, it's always been so good on TV, as you see here. He's 2-1, average 224. He's done very, very well in pressure moments. Won this tournament in 2009. So somebody like that, just bowling a game like that, getting ready to bowl a title match, you know, it definitely weighs on your mind a little bit. And for him to start, you know, spare in the first, strike in the second, throw a good shot there like that, you know, you try to keep it out of your mind as much as possible, but somebody like Tom Smallwood, it's hard to put it out of your mind because you know what he's capable of doing. He was able to get the spare here again. And, you know, thinking here, getting up on this right lane, you know, I knew I had my feet under me at this point. I'd thrown 2 shots over there. And it was all about just getting up, staying slow, staying in the moment, and just making a good shot. And for me, this shot here was definitely one of the best of the match just because of what had happened on that right lane in the first frame. So to get up there and throw this shot here was absolutely fantastic. You know, 10 straight back. It was a huge confidence booster at that point. And it also, you know, helped me take the lead in the match. And I know it was early in the match, but anytime you can have a lead at all, it definitely helps your psyche out. Youth movement on tour. It's been incredible the last when this tournament had happened. And, who was it? Gary Faulkner was on the oldest one, World Championships 2015, to win a major in over a year, which is pretty incredible. Again, another pretty good shot here. That the left lane ended up being a little bit tighter. As you can see, I threw a couple of light mixers there on that left lane. But I ended up in the 6th frame. You'll see what happens here. But I ended up having to make a little bit of adjustment over there. And if I remember correctly, Tom Smallwood gets up and throws a double here. Oh, maybe I was wrong. I know he throws a couple of strikes here in the middle of the game at some point, and it's around the time I get back to that left lane. Tom Smallwood starts putting a little bit of pressure back on me, and I tell you what, no matter if it's for just a regular title, but even more for a major championship, you know, the nerves are flowing at this point. And it's hard to keep them under control, even though on the outside it looks like I have everything perfect and under control. On the inside, it's it's fighting a lot of demons within yourself and going through mental processes of what you need to do on each lane and the differences between them, and trying to not worry about what your opponent's doing. You know, it's a lot to take in and process in a short amount of time. You know, when we bowl this match, it only takes, I think, 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes to bowl a match. So we'll go back here and see the first shot that I threw. As you'll see here, it gets well outside. And they'll show another shot. I think this is the 3rd frame. You can see this one's just way more up the lane and in front of me a little bit more. That shot there, I really, really liked it out of my hand. I think I might have hit up on it a little bit, which caused it to overhook just slightly, just enough to 4-pin. But I really, really liked it out of my hand. It felt really, really good. And you can see here, it just gets down lane and just overhooks just slightly. So basically what I'll do after that is just make a little bit of an adjustment on that lane and just move one board to the left and make sure that ball doesn't overhook too much again. So these are some of the balls that I'd thrown in practice, and like I said, the chronic paranoia just gave that best shape on that particular pattern that day. And throughout the World Championship match play, I had thrown multiples of the chronic paranoia, drilled 3 or 4 different ways. I had, as you see here, the pin in the palm, the Rico layout. I had one pin under the bridge. I had one pin over the bridge. And that shot there, I just got a little bit quick. And being the tight lane, you just couldn't do that. And I just have to make an adjustment off of that for the next time I come back to that lane. And that, subconsciously, it's almost like you saw your ball overhook on the right lane the shot before. So you get it over there and you just give it a little bit of extra gas. And, it's just one of those things that happens. At 210, I really, really thought I made it out of my hand when I shot at that spare. I really, really thought I made it. Which, in a situation like that, making a spare or a split conversion can really change the tone of the match and almost deflate your opponent. Just because, they look at it and see it and they're like, geez, they can't do anything wrong. And being as Tom Smallwood is, he struck in the 5th. I get up, I make a mistake, and he gets up there and throws one 10 straight back. And that's basically what you got to do in those types of situations. And that's what he's been so good at over the years. When somebody makes a mistake, you have to take advantage of it. And not only him, but to be successful on tour, a lot of guys that have won a bunch of times, they're really good. If you go back and just pay attention and watch, when an opponent makes a mistake, typically they will get up and throw 2 really good shots. Now, whether or not they strike or not is a completely different story. But, yeah, and that what happened here, I think, was Tom was running into his own traffic, and he bowled the whole show. Started at the bottom, worked his way up, and I think himself burned up the lane and just enough where it created. He didn't have any more miss room left. Is basically what had happened, and I fully expected him to move quite a bit left after that shot, and I don't think he did. He might have moved maybe 1 or 2. I expected him to move 4 or 5 boards to try to play that hook that he had created. Luckily for me that he didn't, and ended up going my way. So like I said, this last time I was on this lane, the ball overhooked just slightly. So I got up there and just made the 1 board more move left, and got the ball to go dead flush. Again, one of the best shots of the match right there, to see your ball do something and make an adjustment off of it and throw a really good shot and see the result that you expected after making a good shot. It's a really, really good feeling to be able to do that, especially in a situation such as bowling for a major championship.
What do you think, Randy, the biggest shot of the game today?
So now, if you remember, I 210'd on this lane the last time. So it's almost like the same move, but doing it with ball speed. So I didn't move off of the 210. I just softened up my ball speed just a little bit, and you can see that ball get down lane and hook like it's supposed to, and not what we say miss it at the end of the pattern and skate by the head pin. It picked up just a little bit sooner, and again went dead flush, 10 straight back, and two of the best shots that I have ever thrown in a situation in my career was right there. Like I said, Tom Smallwood got up and made a mistake in the 7th after I'd made a mistake in the 6th frame. And I got up and threw 2 really, really good shots. And that's just things that you have to do in a situation like that to be successful at basically anything you do. When somebody makes a mistake, you have to capitalize on it. That's just the way sports work. Tom got up there and he knew that he needed to strike out to have any chance in this match. As it sits right now, if he strikes out, he can shoot 224, and I was bowling 246 if I strike out. So if he throws this strike here, that would force me to get up and strike and get good count in the 10th. Unfortunately, I don't think he made enough move on that lane, and his ball overhooked again. Basically, what that did for me mentally sitting there was all I needed was to get up and throw 1 more strike, and then it didn't matter what I did after that. That I had enough pins to close him out and be able to go pick up the trophy. Missing a spare like that is very uncharacteristic of Tom Smallwood. Very, very good spare shooter. And as I sat there and watched that, and I looked at the scoreboard and saw that he could only bowl 192, it goes through your mind that if I throw 1 more strike, I basically don't even have to throw a shot in the 10th frame. I just have to get up there and keep it on the lane, and I win the World Championships. And after what I had been through the year before, leading the tournament and dominating and not bowling very well on the show in that title match. Again, another shot. As soon as it left my hand, I knew it was good. It was 10 straight back again, and after I made the mistake with the 210, threw three shots in a row that went 10 straight back. And like I've said a lot in this, doing that for a major championship, to be able to perform on that level and to do that is there's no greater feeling in the world than to be able to do it when you have to. And getting up in the 10th, throwing that shot there, I knew I won, and I want to say, going back and watching this now, I talked to Tom Smallwood that night. He's a really good friend of mine, but the class that man has and showed in that situation is unsurpassed by anyone. To be able to do that for me. Not only being a good friend, but I believe he would do that for almost anybody. He's just such a great person. And again, you know, he told me that in that situation, great job, and I deserved it. And then this right here was a moment that I will remember the rest of my life. And I compare it to '97 Masters when Tiger won his first major and got to hug his dad. And, you know, there was some tears shed in this moment, but it was definitely tears of joy and definitely a moment that will live with me for the rest of my life.
But it sure is a feel-good story for that young man right there.
Yeah, you do have to feel good the way he came back. This was his tournament of redemption. And for E.J. Tackett, his 5th PBA title, his first major, and the emotion that he showed between himself and his father, it touched me.
Unbelievable.